República Democrática de Timor-Leste, RDTL, Secretario Fratelli Movimento, Unisma Ativista Pro RDTL, Direct to Mr. President of RDTL, Dr. José Manuel Ramos Horta. The second, Mr. Prime Minister of RDTL, Kairala Serrano Guzmão. Third, Veteran of the War. Fourth, public on either national and international. Subject, rejection against camouflaged plan of the armed force from USA to utilize Baucau Airport for their future military base and their free movement, enter and exit in the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste. Based in the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste Constitution, Article 1, Number 1, Article 2, Number 1, and Article 48 and Article 49, Number 1. The combatants and veterans of the war, the Maubere people and Maubere youth gathered in the big front take a new firm and just position in rejecting the camouflage plan of the armed force from USA to utilize Baucau Airport for their future military base and their free movement in the RDTL according to the desire like the following. 1. Beside the anti-terror maneuvers, the American force commanded by General of the American Imperialism, Stephen S. Nordaus, with the airplane landed in the Baucau Airport to the ceremony relating to the hangar done by them, counting with the inspection to the runway of the airport by Stephen X. Nordaus at the 4th of April 2025. This is a new maneuver of armed force of the American imperialism to continue camouflaging to the dirty plan to collocate their future military base at the Baucau Airport. So we reject once more to the presence of the armed force from USA in the Baucau Airport. Both reconstruction of the airport and any payment military activity in this strategic place of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste. The second, vis-a-vis to the military cooperation. Since 2002, so far, the American force never tried in speaking the bilateral military cooperation to increase and fortify the military capacity of the volunteer FDTL. However, looking at the reality, this stands force in the practice, they didn't like growth of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste's army. Because during more than 2 decades, the those stands force were in the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste. The volunteer FDTL didn't have any bazooka, mortar, cannon, assault car, or war tank, as well as the American force constructed one hangar in Baucau Airport for the aeroplane. While the state of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste and its army not have any adequate military aeroplane, neither any military helicopter. 3. The armed force of the American imperialism have a right to have free movement in or out with their things or material in the RDTL's region according to their will, without license and without pay fees. This attitude has violated the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste's independence and the national sovereignty. Therefore, we are continuing to resist hardly against the attitude by violating the RDTL's independence and national sovereignty. Because Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste is not province of the USA. 4. The actual president of America, Mr. Donald Trump, actually imposed the fees to the nation in the world. But look at the reality in Timor-Leste is contrary, because the standard armed force of USA with their vehicles that are used in Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste, their aircraft were shipped with equipment and enter and exit in Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste and see and park in the national territory according to the only their will. Because all this was payless, without license, free on fee, tax, no inspection and others. This fact show the attitude of the American president just appears and true injustice in the world and against RDTL as an independent state, sovereign and member of the United Nations organization. Based on the fact mentioned above, the combatants and veterans of the war, the Maubere people and the Maubere youth gathered in the big front maintain their position with the stipulation of the anterior official document like following. First, the open letter of the rejection to the Stranger Armed Force from the USA about rehabilitation of the Baucau airport. We are the fighter and veteran and survivor of Maubere people of Lone War in Separatel organization, movement from Unisma Activista por Eretel, from Sector 2 Fununafati, Baucau, Viqueque, Los Palos, and Manatutu. Reject totally to the Baucau civil airport rehabilitation by the American military, with fundamental reasons are as follows. One, based on the reality that the United States of America, who firstly placed themselves as a fount of democracy and human rights in the world, send their army force for more and more. CBs and the Red Horse dominate the fight in the other independence countries, like Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, and others, cause the native people suffering consequences and died all. Two, in Timor-Leste, USA, with democracy and the human rights protection, support hardly with the war materials such as the R-15 and M16, bomber plane, war tanks, and others, of the Indonesian invasion and assassinate occupation, killed all the Maubere people with their generation. Although the heroic people we are able to resist for the Eritrea's independence restoration on May 20, 2002. But after the restoration, the stranger force from USA, CBs and Red Horse exchanged the Indonesian occupant force, stay permanently in East Timor to continue infiltrate and confuse the Eritrea's armed force, Palintil and FDTL, by term cooperation and use Eritrea as a field for military training, including the movement among the people with term development. That just appeared preoccupation and traumatism for the survivor among their people and their son. Three, finally, in 11 of January 2002, suddenly the stranger force of USA entered in Baucau airport. The construction material and rehabilitation equipment with total disrespect for the popular mass aspiration against the plan for rehabilitation by the American military, like the invasion on December 7 in 1975, include the just position against SOFA agreement, the Thai Eritrea. From this, the fighter and the veteran, together the popular mass that protected by the Eritrean Constitution Article 1.1 and Article 2.1, manifested with a span of more than 1,000 in Baucau City. In 17 of January 2022, against or reject hardly the rehabilitation for civil airport by the USA Armed Force, with the fundamental reason that had conveyed the Eritrea's state the public on the either national or international. So based on the democratic action in Baucau, 17 of January 2022, direct demand to a stranger armed force of the USA to stop soon their military activity to Baucau airport rehabilitation, because they are determined for civil airport, so that for civil engineering to have rehabilitate the airport itself, to may not appear trauma for Maubere people as a survivor from the Lone War. B, any other stranger military activity in Eritrea's strategic area and the other space by term development, just traumatize people who victim for the stranger domination. Because they do the same as the Indonesian military strategy about the Abri Masuk Desa, with them to carry the progress for the people to camouflage their colonial domination during 24 years. Seen in the actual international situation right now, the USA challenge continuously some of the Asian countries like North Korea, or other of Asian countries with the nuclear capacity can get opportunity to the situation to appropriate the install their military base in the strategic area. That make Timor-Leste as an attack target for the other belligerent implicated to the world to be the end of suffering to the Maubere people with their generation, as in the Second World War. Even if incomparable, to the any other of the economical progress. So the American force activity in the civil airport of Baucau has to be stopped because, because the Eritrea stand as a non-bloc country and peace lover and will not lend to any bloc in the war and refuse any other military bloc potency in its sacred fatherland. D. We expected that American force will respect the democratic action that had done in 17 of January 2022 to stop the military activity about the civil rehabilitation for the Baucau airport, including the SOFA revocation accord with during here unfavorable for Eritrea's independence and national sovereignty because the USA as a fount of democracy and human rights in the world. If American force want to be anti-democracy and don't want to stop their military activity in Baucau airport, we are going to continue our democratic action through demonstration with a spanduk and a spirit the American military attitude as an anti-democracy to the Eritrean state, to the public, either national and international, and in front of the international community to safeguard total the independence of Eritrea and its national sovereignty. The second, immediately, revocation to the SOFA Accord. From May 20, 2002, Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste obtained its restoration after long war and stood in the war as a democratic state of right, independence, free, sovereign, and recognized internationally. But after restoration and recognized internationally, suddenly appeared an accord named Status of Force Agreement in Washington in 1 of October 2002 between USA and Timor-Leste that was unfavorable and so with disrespect to the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste's international right. It is total independence and national sovereignty since October 2002 until 2023. The preamble of this SOFA Accord wrote in sweet words about recognition of Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste independence and national sovereignty, bilateral interest, principle of mutual respect. As a guidance from the implementation, but several articles to the implementation this record were full of the restrictions, like bitter words, as a concrete fact that showed disrespect practice to the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste total independence and national sovereignty as the following. First, the USA stranger country, its personnel can use uniform or gun in Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste, ever stood as independent state, sovereign, and as one of the United Nations Organization members. The stranger armed force of USA with their vehicles that are used in Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste. The aircraft were shipped with equipment that enter and exit in Eritrea's air, sea, and park in the national territory according to the only the will. Because all this was payless without license, free on fee, no inspection and others. The USA military and civilian institution and NGO, the constructor and the personal constructor in the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste with their import and export material free from any inspection, license, and others. These facts appear as a bitter reality we saw with disrespect to the international right of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste state, protected by universal principle consecrated in a Magna Charta in United Nations Organization, and violated also Article 1 of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste Constitution, which protect its independence and national sovereignty, and Article 8 about international relations, because Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste is not a state like Texas or California that is a part of the USA. Fourth, based on the mentioned bitter reality that Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste independence and the national sovereignty. Since before, the activists pro-Eritrea, the fighter and veterans and survivor of Maber people from the long war in the big front reject the SOFA Accord and presence of the American military in Timor-Leste by disrespect to the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste Constitution, Article 146, about armed force, because the war occupation in Timor-Leste. The USA itself support hardly with war material, guns, R-15 and M16, the bomber plane, the warship, the war tanks, and others for Indonesian invasion and assassin occupation, killing or eliminate Maubere people with his generation during 24 years. 5. Nevertheless, these heroic people resist anti-restoration of the Timor-Leste independence on May 20, 2002. But after restoration, they transferred from USA, Naval and Air Force, substitute the occupying force of Indonesia, misses the Eritrea's armed force, volunteer FDTL. We term them occupation and worse yet, use Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste for their military exercise field, including the movement among the people with term development that cause preoccupation and traumas for survival mobile people from the Lone War and his generation. 5. The bitter reality force that activity pro-Eritrea, the veteran, and the thousands of the large popular, the mass protected by the Democratic of Timor-Leste Constitution Article 1.1, Article 2.1, and Article 42 protest continuously and did the Pacific demonstration with the Spanish starting from the S part of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste on January 17 of 2022 against the presence of American military in Baucau airport, including the just position against the SOFA Accord with fundamental reason that had conveyed to the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste state. To the American military in Baucau, to the national international public as the following. A. The bitter experience in the history. The USA was architect for Indonesian invasion and illegal occupation with deliberate eliminate Maubere people during Lone War in Timor-Leste. But after independence, USA reappeared with silver bullet or dollar. Cartridges give together institutions and various NGOs interfered and weakened the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste independence and national sovereignty, with tendency to obtain also power or Baucau airport rehabilitation. As a retail strategic point to realize their plan for military base, naval and air force at the future, which is very dangerous. For example, A. Looking at the actual situation that USA provoke always some of the Asiatic countries like North Korea and other potency of the Asia with nuclear capacity. When will any great war break in the future? The USA can profit from this situation to take with force and install its military base in a strategic place that will make Timor-Leste as an attack target from the other belligerent potency implicate in war to reconduct and their suffering for Maubere people together their generation and in the Second World War. So will not compare to any other economic development. B. The other bitter experience in the Second World War, the capitalist country like Japan and Australia fought against each other did not take place in their own countries, but they fought each other in Timor-Leste, caused Timor-Leste as a victim, and they died all just for the interest of the stranger potency. And also in Indonesian invasion, the Australia who used Timor-Leste as a shield defense in the Second World War, hand over to the fate of Timor-Leste to Indonesia from 1975. Caused Maubere people died during 24 years. B. Therefore, the activities of American military in Baucau Civil Airport must be stopped soon. Because as a civil airport is function for civil aviation, so civil engineering that must make rehabilitation in order not to repair preoccupation and traumas to the survivor of Maubere people from the long war. And because the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste stood as a non-aligned country and lover of peace, is not part of any other military bloc in the world, and refused any other stranger military base in the sacred ground fatherland. See any other activity for stranger army force of USA in Baucau Plateau and the other place with term development cause only preoccupation on the traumas for the people who have been as a victim from the stranger domination, because these acts are the same tactic of the Indonesian military about abri masuk desa with term development to camouflage the stranger domination. So American military, who after restoration of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste and international recognition substituted the Indonesian military in Timor-Leste, must to be struck soon in order not to violate the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste. Constitution Article 146 about the armed force and not to appear preoccupation and traumas for survival of our people from the long war. 7. Once again, the implementation of the Sofia Accord showed disrespect for the international right of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste state and violated Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste Constitution Article 1 that protect its independence and the national sovereignty, and Article 8 about international relations. Therefore, the state of the Democratic of Republic of Timor-Leste sovereignty organ, based on the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste Constitution Article 6, has to make revocation immediately for the Sofia Accord, because this accord was illegal, invalid, according to the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste Constitution Article 9, about the reception of the international right. 8. Lastly, this legitimate and legal revocation was not to make Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste and USA in become enemy with one another, but to open new pace for real cooperation from theory and practice, healthier without the restriction and any signal of the domination, based on the equality between the state according to the general principle of consecrated in the United Nations Organization Magna Charta, and also according to the just principle consecrated in the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste Constitution Article 1 as a democratic state of the right, independence, and sovereign. Article 8 about international relations, and Article 9 about the reception of the international right. Glory to the Maubere people and the heroes of our liberation. Bravo, Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste, democratic state of the right, independence, free and sovereign. Bravo, Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste, non-aligned country and lover of peace. Timor-Leste, 7 of April 2025 by Dirkov, Ordi.